my daughter that's out here, is a competitive gymnast. And this last year, she actually got COVID right at the beginning of the gymnastics season. And so she was out and she got back in and she picked everything back up and she worked really, really hard. And she was able to go to state, and at state she went her way to regionals, and at regionals she went her way to westerns. And that's a really huge honor in the gymnastics world. That's hard to do. And after regionals, when she'd won her way to westerns, we went into the restroom. And she's like, I feel so good about myself. I'm just going to reward myself with some ice cream. And I said, that's awesome. You deserve ice cream. But, and I kind of looked at her for a minute, I said, but you already have the greatest reward. And she looked at me for a minute. She said, you're right. Because that natural blessing that followed the hard work, the way that she felt about herself in that moment, she had to earn it. It could not be given to her. She could be gifted everything in the world except for that feeling of accomplishment and confidence that she earned herself. And that's the way in which there are certain blessings and certain consequences and punishments attached to living in compliance or out of harmony with the natural moral law. So I want to give you some examples of how the natural law has changed me. Relationships, I'll give you one last example. When I learned from Viktor Frankl, he's in a concentration camp, and this famous quote of his that the last of the human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. I knew that was true, also painful. The truth sets us free, as Christ taught, but it also can often be painful when we first learn it, because it means we have to change. And I learned that I could choose my attitude all the time. And that's a hard truth to really internalize, but it set me free. I could choose my response, and to choose or not to choose was a choice. And I stopped trying to control other people. I tried instead to work on controlling myself and take responsibility. And the deeper I got into this one principle, the more powerful I felt, the more in control of so many things I actually am that I didn't realize that I was. So a light bulb goes on. You feel liberated. You feel set free. And of course, living principles has helped us order our home in so many ways. And I've talked about some of these on podcasts and in level 1, but certainly our finances were a mess. Our marriage was a mess. My parenting wasn't great. Our health was kind of on and off. And so uncovering true principles in those areas and aligning my life with them has brought freedom and good fruits. This is something that Christ taught over and over again, that by your fruits you'll know them. And so living true principles brings good fruits in the long term. If we want these outcomes, we can only get them by submission, acceptance and submission to a law we didn't create and we don't get to make up, that is higher than us and that is written on the hearts of all mankind. The third reason that the natural moral law will help us build faith in ourselves and those around us is because you can more clearly see God when you're trying to see things His way. I used to have this plaque up on my wall from C.S. Lewis. It says, I believe in God as I believe in the sun, not because I can see it, but because of it all things are seen. The natural law, or the laws of human nature, work. Because of them, all things are seen. Life begins to make sense. You might be asking, if this is so universally known, and if this has been around for centuries, why aren't people talking about it? Why haven't I heard about it? What's the disconnect in today's world?